Okay, everyone, we are going to start today with joy. Now, Black women have never truly been embraced in the health and wellness industry, which is why we've created safe spaces and communities for ourselves and other Black women to feel represented. Now, one such space is Transparent Black Girl, a place where Black women can heal and ease into wellness. And Yasmin is the woman behind it, helping others feel empowered on their journey and spreading Black joy in the process. We are so glad to have you, Yasmin. How are you?
Thank you so much, Tracy. I'm doing well. It's great to be here.
Well, we're excited that you can make the time to join us because you have truly dedicated yourself to shattering the unconventional stigmas surrounding what it means for Black people to feel well and to sort of occupy digital spaces with that idea of wellness. So you have Transparent Black Girl and Guy, and you've created healing spaces through your wellness collective, Transparent Black. So why did you focus on wellness? Why was that your focus for our community?
Well, if I'm honest, it really started out from a very personal journey of me just being in a space where wellness was something that was important to me. And so once our following started to grow, I decided that if I was going to have a lot of attention, that I really wanted it to be for something that was necessary for Black people. I felt like there were not a lot of spaces that were discussing wellness and what that looks like for us. So I decided to create some.
Now, we are focused on joy this week and Black joy specifically, but it's hard to talk about that without also talking about trauma. And there has been a lot of trauma. Last year was a hard year for a lot of us. So let's talk a little bit about how that trauma manifests itself.
Sure. I think that ultimately, Black people, we're fighting two pandemics. We're fighting COVID-19 that is disproportionately affecting Black people, and we're also fighting systemic racism. And so I think that ultimately with that, last year, we really tried to focus a lot of our content on being gentle with ourselves and reclaiming joy and knowing that we have and we deserve access to it. And it's not something that we have to, work towards, that we deserve to be joyful at any time.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a luxury. You should be able to access that joy whenever and however you need to. So let's talk about wellness and how that translates into Black joy for you.
Sure. So for us this year, our programming has been a little different. So again, wellness, I like to think that wellness is just as multifaceted as Black people. And, more important that Black people are not a monolith. And so with that, we have a lot of programming that is, yoga with neo soul music. We've even had dance sessions. We've had happy hours where we make wellness cocktails and DJ sessions. And so just a lot of things reminding us to, still have community. And so that's what we've tried to focus on this year with, infusing joy into our content.
Okay, you need to hit me up the next time you have a DJ session. Like, I am all for dancing any time of the day or night, so please slide in my DMs and let me know. I want to talk a little bit more about wellness during times like these, and I want to know what you do specifically for your own wellness. What do you do to help heal both the body and mind?
Sure. Well, for me, it starts with little things that I try to do on a weekly basis. So it's stretching my body before I jump to my desk for the day and taking that extra time for myself. It's doing gua sha if I feel like a certain part of my body is a little tense. So it's a little tool that I use with oils. It's, getting in the bathtub and watching girlfriends and laughing. So it's just taking that time for myself. I like to, talk about not only self-care, but radical self-care. And so it's going out of your way and not allowing for it to be something that you have to schedule. And also swimming too. I'm a swimmer. I swim about 3 times a week.
Oh, that's good. I miss swimming. That's something I miss a lot. So tell us, can you read us what's on your shirt right now?
Absolutely. So it says, "Dear Black people, it's okay to pray and go to therapy." So it's one of the shirts that's a part of our brand that can be purchased on transparentandblack.com. And so basically for me, culturally, there's always a lot of conversation amongst the Black community about prayer and how it's important. And while it is, I think that it's also important to, fuse some of the things that, are starting to become more of a conversation like therapy. And so for me, I think that wellness is just as multifaceted as we are again. And so it's okay to do both. And I want our community to know that there is just as much power in therapy as there is in prayer for a lot of people.
I'm seeing those messages now on social media a lot, and I have a lot of respect for that because I think that, I'm seeing messages that your girlfriends are great, but they're not a therapist. Prayer is great, but it's not therapy. So why not do all of the things? Do all of the things. And my girlfriend, I have one girlfriend who is a Black therapist, and she says her client list is going through the roof. And a lot of it is Black millennials because they understand in a way that previous generations have not understood that they need to embrace their mental health. It's a crucial part of your health. So are you seeing the same pushback, Yasmin, when you talk about therapy within the Black community?
Well, I'm starting to see a little bit more, celebration. I think at first I've been in therapy for over 5 years now. So initially there was not, a big response. But I think that last year, honestly, got a lot of people into, wanting to turn a tide of really having those conversations because, 2020 was difficult for a lot of people and, they're isolated and they're not having a lot of support. And so ultimately, virtual therapy has become, such an important tool that's helped so many people, including myself.
Can we talk about isolation for a moment? Because I think this has been a true test of like mental fortitude. And there's some of us that, maybe have too many people in the house, too many kids, too many dogs, too many husbands. And there are other folks that have too little people in the house. So I want to talk about how do you get through these moments of isolation in a way that is healthy and healing?
Having honest conversations with the people that you love, having FaceTime sessions with my sister has been really helpful when we can't get to each other because we're not in the same state, being honest about the times where I'm feeling vulnerable and, weighted blankets. I have a lot of them now. Those are helpful as well. And, when I can see the people in my life, once we're safe and tested, making sure that I really cherish those hugs, because it's definitely been a year where isolation has been difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think we can never sort of overestimate the power of touch. You need to get it any way you can get it. Yasmin, I love following you on Instagram, and thank you for everything you contribute to the community and mostly for spreading that Black joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for having me.